Thanks for joining, guys. Good early morning. I know it's still a little early for you guys. The more consistent we get with these lives and, giving our take on, our peripheral with things that's going on in the world, you'll see that there's, I'll get better at, timing these lives in terms of, when to go live, when's the best time for you guys, but basically any time is a good time for me. I do like that 4 a.m. time. But like I said, I know a lot of you are still probably finding it hard to get out of bed right now. But then again, I know a lot of you be working that third shift, right? You be working that second shift. Whatever floats your boat, okay? And I chose this topic because I don't know how long I'm gonna be in this spot, nice lighting, okay? I always got to make sure it's a nice lighting. So just give me a couple seconds. I did hit the button. I was getting a little ahead of myself there. I wasn't exactly ready, but we'll be here in just a couple seconds, couple minutes. And then we'll just touch base on the topic. Just something that I've been noticing in terms of a lot of perspectives on Nolan Wells. And it's something that's been on the news for, been very consistent. I just now, not just now, but just a couple hours ago, looked into what really happened. And I didn't know they were really, okay, so yeah, that's one thing, is like, I'll always pick a spot that I think is good for a reason, and it's because of the lighting, but then it'll be a bad spot because y'all might not be able to hear me, because I was obviously so aware enough to know that I'm right next to traffic. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Like I said before, this is one of these topics we're just going to kind of get out of the way, depending on, it's really up to you guys with the engagement, if it's something you're into or maybe your take. But other than that, I'm gonna kind of just get my point across, and then we'll kind of end it there. So we're gonna tie this into, and we're not specifying anybody. This is I kind of talked about this. We're gonna kind of engage. Let me kind of sit back, man. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Let me chill out for a sec. I'm kind of rowdy right now. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on right now, man. Aside from this, I just don't want to, I don't want to really speak on personal things right now. Grown, what we have here, okay? So I titled this one, Grown Men in the Biblical Field. Beef over news content subjects, but there's a bigger fight going on that's making it childish. And this is not one of these lives where I'm watching what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Hey, I'm judging you. No, I don't have a problem with anyone. Anyone's titles, anyone's subjects, anyone's take on anything. That's their business. Now, let's go ahead and get right into the nitty-gritty and where we're coming from with this live, all right? AKA, what's it's really called? What someone is doing regarding another topic, subject, person, news, versus what someone did to you, okay? So this is where we're coming from, okay? Shout out to you guys joining the live right now. Every other couple minutes, I'll get to y'all's comments. Thank you for joining, and make sure to like. Let me repeat one more time for those coming in. What someone is doing regarding another topic, subject, person, news matter, versus what someone did to you. Okay? So that's what the title means, actually. That's what the substance matter is, okay? Now, yeah, we are picking the example from the Nolan Wells news matter that's going on. It's not exactly that we're going to get into that. I've already seen everybody kind of get their take on that. And it's not that it's one of those things we can't speak about, but it's just one of those things that, people are already speaking about. We already kind of have the information on what's going on, people's take on it. And it's really up to the people on how much more exposure they want to add about that. And I mean, yeah, it's something that's to be spoken on. Now, before we get into the actual matter of my title, I'm gonna go ahead and just give you guys my take on it. Why not? Just real quick. So basically, I guess this Nolan Wells, he was with like friends. He passed away, and all I've noticed from this is we can already simplify it and be like, that's unfortunate. It's always unfortunate when this happens to people. Okay, this happens every day actually. Think about a lot of the coverage that doesn't happen with things like this that may be more intense than this. Okay, not trying to say that they're making an agenda out of this subject matter. You know what I'm saying? I know. Like 4 or 5 years ago, that's a word that was used a lot. Agenda. They're using this for this. They're using this for this. They're using this for this. I'm not gonna go that far with it. I noticed they are really incorporating the black versus white race bait with it. That's one thing I will say. But then again, whether that's something that they're trying to amplify or not, let me wait for that real quick. I noticed that race is something they really amplified on this, okay? Not trying to say that's the topic matter of this. It actually has nothing to do with it. This has what it has to do with the title, right? Men in the biblical field are beefing over subjects, but there's a bigger fight going on that makes it look childish. So I'm not trying to say that whatever this beef is that's going on with individuals, it's multiple, it's not just one, is childish. It's just the fact that we may be aware of something more, I don't want to say more worthy. That's not really the word I want to say. And I'm not trying to say that we're really over here comparing like importance levels and we're adding like importance levels to things and stuff like that. But it's more so the real grittiest, nastiest fights right now are not getting the exposure, but they're amplifying the energy for topics like these though, if you get what I'm saying. All right, so we're a couple minutes in. We got IM_Amy_07 going on. You said what's up, man, what's going down? Okay. Mayan K_Sat Carney, where are you from? I'm from Montana. Where are you from? Thanks for joining the live, guys. Thanks for joining the live. Like I said, I know it's kind of early. I'm just going to kind of get this one in real quick. What happens with these, I'd say more like underground type, not underground, but it's causing more impact. It's causing more impact, and it amplifies the things that you're seeing more externally. Okay, that's where I'm coming from with it. Okay, meaning there's a lot more expansive charismatics that people can kind of grab from with this, with the things that you don't see as much of, but it has more energy behind it. So that means it's more of like a creative mind. The clapbacks are a little more clever. You're taking more of a risk. There's more strategy to what you're doing, kind of. You're overseeing more broader angles to things. It's going to cause affiliates, watchers, and even those guilty by association to be more affected whether they see it or not. It's more personal. Let me go back to what I said before. What someone is doing regarding another topic, subject, person, news, versus what someone did to you. I guarantee you, the biggest beefs are gonna be over what someone did to each other. It's not gonna be a thing where you're gonna beef with someone because of what they're speaking about. This is where we're coming from. Now, why would we see more of that? Think about it, especially as a content creator. Why would you see more beef in regards to what someone's speaking about? In regards to what someone's opinion is over a subject matter, over a news matter, right? Why would we see more beefs about that instead of beefs that would be considered more of a beef because of what someone actually did to you? If you ask me, obviously those beefs would be a little more amplified. And they are. But for some reason, we don't see those beefs as much. Now, you would expect that because it's more personal. A real beef that would eventually lead to a war, specifically the internet, with upcoming perspectives. Now, I really hope you guys can hear me. Like I said before, that this is what I get for being biased with why I chose this spot. I like the lighting, but we got the noise in the background, so I'm gonna try to get this done quick anyway. I see people rolling in already. It was nice and quiet before, but now it's starting to reach the peak of the morning. New perspectives, and you're going to see upcoming content creators with a new way of going about just news matters in general. So wouldn't focus on or allow views and money. Not trying to say that that's the reason that individuals are actually having issues with each other over a news topic, a subject matter that is viral. It's being displayed by the news. I guarantee you that something being done to you that's a bit more dramatic, because it's you, and then you're the content creator, so you're the one who's expressing where you're coming from, how to deal with the conflict that's reality. Now, you're going to say I'm being more contradicting because at the same time, this example we're using to get our point across is reality. But then again, it is what's being shown to us from a limited hangout website. So you don't, not trying to say, but you don't have the details, man. You weren't there. You didn't see what actually happened. You're being told what happened. And then you have different sides of it. And like I said before, this isn't exactly about that. I'm going to leave that to those who already made that their mission to speak about it. I'm just kind of using this for my thing. But this is why you guys actually don't see me speak on actual news articles and display myself as a as like a news channel anyway. That's just the way I see things. I wasn't there. I'm a see it, I have to see it to believe it type person. So I don't mind speaking about it, but I just don't go too far with things like that. Obviously, where I'm coming from is a space of what we see, what's been done. What are we gonna do about this situation? This is involving another individual, whether you met them in real life or not. That's affecting your life. This person is playing a role in your life. This scenario is playing a role with your finances. This scenario is more for me, is playing a role in your freedom. Your freedom. That's huge for me. Your stability. Where you're at in life right now. Your relationships, your connections. That's where I'm coming from. That wave is going to be bigger, but it's also going to be more hidden. Why? It's more personal. So, attention. Here's one thing about attention. Attention is natural. You're going to hear people say things like, oh, you're doing that for attention. That doesn't make sense. a lot of common phrases, a lot of common statements that are just very simple, I actually don't agree with. I'm not so quick to agree with things that people just so quick to say that's common. Oh, you're just trying to get attention. That person's trying to get attention. Hold on a sec, guys. What do you mean that person's trying to get attention? Think about it. When you go to school and it's the first day of class, and you're in the classroom and you're an introvert, let's say you're an introvert, you don't like to talk, you don't care about attention. You don't want attention. Let's say the teacher's gonna do what they're gonna do. They're going wild in that. They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna pick on you and talk about, stand up, tell us your name, where you're from, and all that. You have no choice but to get attention. That's not your fault. You didn't choose to get attention. You're naturally getting attention. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that's the way I come with things. I think people are too quick to say things like that because they're judging an individual from a bias on the way they look at things, okay? So they're so quick to be like, oh, you're trying to get attention. That doesn't make sense in my definition. There's no such thing as try to get attention. Now hold on a sec, you're gonna be like, yeah, there is. Okay, yes. That's where the word clout comes in, okay? So this is my take on no names in titles. Names in titles for clout. Biblical field. Okay, so why did I say biblical field? Because we didn't say anything biblical over here, right? But we're taking this from a space where we're seeing it from that. Okay, so there's individuals in the biblical field who have an issue with another in the biblical field speaking on a subject matter that doesn't affiliate them in real life, aka let's go back to what we were saying before. What someone is doing regarding another subject person news matter versus what someone did to you. So you're willing to go that far to put a person's name in the title. Now don't get me now, here's the thing. Now I'm gonna touch base on this because I don't do that. I think I'd say maybe twice on my channel I've mentioned other content creator names where I actually apologize because I don't personally know those content creators. Now I'm not judging from where I'm coming with this because that's their business, bro. If you want to add someone's name in the title, I'm not judging for that. You go crazy with it, bro. You do what you're gonna do. Okay? So you go ahead and do what you're gonna do. That's your thing. I'm coming from a point of these same individuals like to call out contradictions. That doesn't mean I have to do that too. But this is something I'm gonna see, and the reason I'm coming this way is because I'm an originator, I'm a creator, I'm original. Okay? And I respect those who initiate their own creativity. I respect those who initiate their own originality. Even if we don't get along with each other, I can respect that. You get what I'm saying? You believe it or not, there's a lot of individuals out here where we could respect to respect. We may not get along, but we could respect to respect. You wouldn't think, would you think, that someone does you wrong in real life, and let's say they're a content creator just like you, wouldn't it be more likely that that would be a scenario that you would actually be willing to actually be like, okay, now this is a problem. I feel like I'm being slandered. I feel like this is affecting like businesses outside of this. I'm gonna have to put this person's name in the title and show them what's up. You get what I'm saying? You wouldn't think that'd be more applicable than this? Than you having an issue with what someone says regarding another news matter, where you could have easily just been like, instead of putting that content creator's name, You could have just put CBS or in, what is it? What are these news channels, man? ABC or I'm trying to get to the real ones. Fox and CNN or whatever. You could have put them in the news. You know what I'm saying? You could have put them in the news title and stuff like that. But you chose to put the content creator. Like I said before, don't think I'm trying to get personal with things. Don't think I'm trying to attack anyone. This is not an attack. Wouldn't you say that's clout, though, man? The same one's saying that, there's individuals chasing clout. They're contradicting, man. What's that phrase we like to do? Go back to the tapes or whatever? We could do that. Don't get me wrong. We all get caught with, there's levels of contradiction and things like that. But a real beef, a real issue, and this is coming from someone who would know. You're not even, these individuals who are making bigger waves with that beef, if you want to call it that, with this matter, with this thing that's affecting you in real life. This is affecting your finances, actually. It's also educating individuals. A lot of individuals don't know the actual scenario, but they're being affected by the way these individuals are going back and forth. It may seem strategic, it may not be strategic. It may seem like it's coming from a military type of mindset where you're generalizing, overseeing more broader angles and tactics that will cause affiliates to be more effective, whether they see it or not, because the energy is fulfilling a whole space. Now, I ain't got my glasses on, so let me see what y'all are talking about. And you guys are talking about nothing that has anything to do with this. So what's up, everybody? Happy Friday, correct? Titbitty says, bark, please. Roof. And then this, that's quite the name there, said, how you stay so fit. Honestly, I'm probably just lucky. I'm just lucky. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in that word, I'm blessed. If you want to say I'm fit, you know what I'm saying? I probably just look fit. Maybe I'm not as fit right now. You never know. Like we said, illusions, man. But I'm just talking. I guess some of us are, you know what I'm saying? We put in enough work to where if we're kind of lazy right now, we got back pay. we got back pay from what we did before, So we put in heavy work before, and if we're not going as hard right now at age 29, 30, than when we did at 21, 22, 23, 24, we got back pay. So we're counting on our back pocket energy. Clout is more premeditated. Now, we spoke on attention. Attention, like I said before, is more authentic, is natural. This is where it's opinionated, it's personal, that's where I'm coming from, but I truly believe, I don't believe in that statement, man. Trying to get attention. That makes no sense. When you go to Walmart to shop for groceries, you're getting attention, bro. People see you. You're there. It's just like this. People are going to come up with narratives for you. Sometimes the broadcast channels do that. They come up with narratives for people. That man is gone. You know he's not alive anymore, right? You know you guys we're choosing to speak on an individual who can't defend himself. You're choosing to speak on an individual who he's the only one who knows what happened, bro. If there's 3 other individuals who was there at that location, and there was a death, the news channels breaking down what's going on. Obviously, they're not releasing all statements. We didn't get a perspective from the other, and then they're making sure to really add the race thing. They're really making sure you guys know that it was a black man and 3 white men. They're making sure you know that, and they're also making sure that you know that it was apparently over a woman, apparently. So apparently, Mr. Wells or whatever, Nolan, wanted to stay with the woman instead of go back with his friends. And this is what caused the fight to break out, and for him to end up face first in the water with us having no details from every other man. I'm going to be honest with you. Why is it that I'm saying this? That's all I got from that news article, bro. I read that whole thing. We already knew the gentleman passed away. Condolences. Other than that, I see a bunch of individuals getting views off him, off what happened. That's fine. I'm not coming from an angle of you're talking about him to get viewed or whatever and stuff like that or whatever. And anyone who is coming from that angle, that's fine, bro. It's a free country. I'm coming from the angle of the details. What you got from it. The only thing I got from it is black man died, white men involved. Race bait. That's all I got from it. You guys don't care about this topic, do you? Look at this. You like men or women? I'm into men. What's up, Steven? Thanks for popping up again, man. I know we talked on the last live stream. Last live stream, I told you I'm into women, actually. So I'm just messing with you. I'm into women. I'm into women. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man into another man, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? That's not my business, and that's not something that's gonna bother me. But me personally, I'm into women. I like ladies. I like their I like women and their sweet voice and the way they talk. I like it when they whisper in my ear and things like that. You're taking me off the title. Chip the Agent says, what's good, man? What's going down, man? Thanks for checking out the live. Feel free to support. Feel free to like. There's a lot going on in real life right now, but you know we're just trying to stay. We're trying to stay cool, calm, and collected, man. You know we're just gonna kind of trying to take our perspective on a more educational side just right now, and then we'll get more into the premise of what the actual matters. That's more of a priority right now than this. This is just something I noticed. I always like to show different sides of things, of the way I see things going on in the world too. I don't always like to make every live about what about me, what about me, what about me, what about me. You know what I'm saying? This is to let you guys know it's about education is important, man. Foresight is important. Being able to have a different way of looking at things is important, and it's going to help people. It brings cultures together, man. That's really the way I look at it. Especially when you're initiating it. You know, you may not see me get as many views as other content creators and stuff, but I guarantee the impact will be just as impactful, though. But energy don't lie. What do I mean by that? Quotation marks. Let me not push it with this person. Highly respected even during questionable actions regarding the full spectrum of a scenario. So this is where we come from, scenarios where sometimes, and this is me as an example too, obviously, I'm not speaking for anybody. Sometimes you'll see an individual protect themselves in a way you may not comprehend, and it could go back to what I just said. It could go back to culture. It could go back to, you know, a way of looking at things that not everybody's gonna see where you're coming from. It's gonna take some time on why someone's doing what they're doing. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. You get what I'm saying? Actions that cause harm to a person's life. This is where we're gonna get into what I'm saying and why it makes those who are in a biblical perspective, because you know what I'm saying. Then again, we look into what is the actual matter of why we're doing what we're doing and what we're doing it for. You're doing it to make an impact. You're doing it because you're working for yourself. And I'm going to respect anybody who's working for themselves. I'm going to respect anybody who's trying to, pave a way for themselves. Whatever their business is. But then again, when it is actual harm to a person's life, regarding individuals who may have took action on your life underhandedly. You don't exactly know what was done, but you see it's affecting them. And not only that, there's individuals playing with your life, man. This goes as far as involving 3-letter word agencies. We're going as far as the CIA. Yes. We're going as far as the FBI. We're going as far as, the NHS, the National Health Society. We're going as far as even, we hear about things like the 501c3, and y'all already know, we've spoken on things like that over and over. Third-party affiliations and agendas that are, doesn't mean you have to be the direct line, but you could be the one who's not involved, revolving. You said true. That's a downside of humanity. There's not a lot of people with the bigger picture vision. Too many people with different views. There is too many people with different views, and that's not necessarily like a bad thing. I'm not trying to say too many views is a bad thing, but if we're picking from something that has too many views, then that means that there's too much confusion, actually. That's what I believe. Too many views, don't get me wrong, you're going to think it's good because it's expansion. Oh, whoa, we can look at it from so many angles. It's not necessarily a good thing. You need to specify it. We're going to need to divide it. We're going to need to make an equation to that so we can simplify it and only touch base on the things that make sense. Unauthorized access. So this is going to go into my next title here, guys. Okay, so I'm kind of done here. Actually, I didn't want to. I knew this one wasn't going to go that long. Now, what do I mean by unauthorized access? I'm specifically under an impression, under a suspicion. I have my own. I'm not going to call it a conspiracy. It's not. I have my own experiences from where I'm coming from with things. Everybody comes from a different angle. Everybody comes from a different perspective when it comes to why they're doing what they're doing. The perspective that I come from is experience. I'm not someone who's going to just speak on something because I saw it. I'm probably going to hesitate real quick from where, from what was seen, and I got to get a little more details. And it depends on why you saw it. But if you saw it, if you actually saw it, then yes, I believe that you are, what's that one word? You're applicable. It's applicable for you to speak on it. Ooh, I just had a good point, but I just missed it. Oh, I wish I could rewind or I had a really good point. That would have been that would have been a mic drop on this. Because we're just about to get on out of here, guys. I had a really good point. Experience. Okay, experience. Experience versus what you saw happen to another. So there's angles. Okay, now what do I mean by this? Let's say I'm driving down the road and I notice a fist fight. And I stop and I see this dude is getting beat up badly, bro. In fact, it's like 2 versus 1. The person's getting it handed to him, bro. Am I going to hop in that fight or am I going to keep watching? Let me wait and see if someone's going to answer that. Hello from Wales. How are you? Hey, how you doing, Michael from Wales? Awesome, man. Yeah, I love it when you guys say where you're from too. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing everybody from different walks of life, different. You know what? I gotta look up where. Let me get off track real quick. I low key want to see where Wales is. I can't remember where Wales is. Y'all already know what my favorite app is, all right? Google Maps, all right? That's my favorite app. No, it's not social media. It's Google Apps, okay? United Kingdom. That's what's up, man. Appreciate you for checking out the live, man. You said you gotta go. I hope you have a good rest of your day. That's good stuff, man. Shout out to those from United Kingdom. We got fans in Australia, all right? That's what I'm talking about. We got fans in Africa. That's awesome. But I'm not necessarily gonna hop in that fight, by the way, man. Because it's not exactly my fight. What am I doing, man? I'm over here. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to, you know what I'm saying? I got appointments to make. You know what I'm saying? You got your daily life. You know what I'm saying? You got family to attend to and things like that. You don't have time to just, now what you're seeing is like wild. You might even be willing to film it. In fact, you did film it. I guarantee a lot of you would film it. You may even upload it to social media. Y'all be shocked because you see a lot of the things I have on my shorts channel and you think to yourself, like for example, I had that one, a short with that couple that was scamming with the violin. And they're not playing the violin, bro. They got a whole speaker that be doing it, right? And basically, I filmed it, and I called them out, and I uploaded it. And I got called out for saying, well, why are you up in their face? You know, you say that they're trying to get attention, but look at you trying to get attention. You upload it on social media. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get monetized off exposing the violin scam. Not necessarily. I think people be, you know what I'm saying? They be coming from an angle of just hate, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know why you would go as far to even have an issue with someone who would do that. Because I wasn't the first person to do that. The first person to do that, if they didn't do it, man, I'd be out here doing that. I'd be pretending to play the violin for money right now. You get what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If they making money, yeah. I'd probably do it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back into the matter though. You know, it's not my business, man. I ain't trying to get beat up, especially if there's some 6'8" big old dudes and they're fighting and stuff. I don't even know why they're fighting. Homeboy might be getting beat up because he actually did something messed up to this man's son. Or, you know, that's just an example, bro. Y'all get what I'm saying. Who am I to just hop in this fight and start fighting with him and stuff like that? I don't know what happened, bro. I'm not trying to say that it's not coward for two people to gang up on one. In most scenarios, it's kind of coward. But remember where we're coming from. We were just driving down the street and we saw this fight. Okay, so there's energies going on, man. So now you've been affected by this. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on. It's a big matter. Simple things like this are the reasons laws get changed. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to go as far as hopping that fight, because is it really your fight? You didn't see the starting point. You didn't experience the starting point. That's where I'm coming from. It's about an experience. It's about what happened to you. Versus, for those who just coming in and hopping out, what someone is doing regarding another topic, subject, person, news, versus what someone did to you. Come on, man. The bigger beef is in what someone did to you. The bigger beef is in you got more affected by that, bro. You're going to be more on your hustle spirit when you are being affected in a finance way. You're going to be more on your hustle when there's things affecting your family. You're going to be in more protection mode when you got to defend yourself. Just like whatever happened in that news article. Did that man get as far as able to even defend himself? We don't even have details on that, bruh. And you guys want to get upset and get mad with each other. Is that applicable? I actually don't think it is. That's why I'm making this live. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not judging anybody. I believe everybody's just got to get their 1-2 in. Let's keep it 100, man. Names and titles are what's going to get views, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you're going to do. That's how you get the views. You get it from drama. You get it from incorporating other individuals. But like I said before, when there is a bigger fight that is amplifying energies, where individuals may know this too. In fact, a lot of individuals do know what's going on underneath the peeled onion layer, where it comes to an issue regarding individuals that is so deep. It may be a power struggle problem. It may be a misunderstanding. I believe the starting point's a misunderstanding, especially if it's my own experience. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm being very broad with this. Why? Well, because of the title of the live, it's not about me, but when it is about you, that's when you're going to see yourself care more. That's when you would be more applicable to be like, hey, so-and-so did this to me. Y'all got to know about this because it's affecting my reputation. This is affecting my job outside of work. This is affecting my finances. This person, they're going out of their way. They're going out of their way to affect my stability and stuff like that. You're going to care more about that, man. So this is going to be what's going to lead. And I'm glad I made this live, even though it may not have made sense to a lot of you. But, oh, you said you're back, Mike? All right, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about, all right? Shout out to all the Michaels in the building, all right? That's obviously the most common name that I be hearing lately. I know personally over 40 Michaels. I probably. Personally, I know a lot of people, bro. I know a lot of Michaels. Shout out to all the Michaels up in there. I get along with every Michael. You know what I'm saying? Every Michael I get along with. All right? Shout out to all the Michaels in the building, all right? I've been all right, man. Things have been rough lately, actually, man. I ain't going to lie to you, but we're holding our chin up. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to, if we're going to be up on here, we're just going to try to be an example on how to be positive about it. But make sure to subscribe, man. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. It may not be something that you're into, but there's a lot of things you can pick from and you can kind of, take for yourself and kind of run with it, and that's what you want to do. Individuals got to get talk about. Let me remind you, that you put your stuff up on here for free. You chose to put your information up on here, man. And that's what my defense mechanism is with my personal matter. You chose to put your stuff up on here for free, man. Don't get upset because someone comprehended your stuff and now you want to make someone an enemy. I just don't understand, bro. I don't understand. Guys, people will do things to you. People will try to get a one-up on you. People will try to get you because they think you're gullible or naive. And when it don't work, and you show who you are, not that person. So you're not even gonna do what they would do if they didn't get fooled by that. Watch how quick they be talking shit. Oh yeah, I just caught him doing magic. I just caught him manipulating. He tried to manipulate me. But he didn't manipulate me. Ha ha. Name and title, name and title, name and title. Do you know how much we could be bringing in if we put some names and titles? That's honestly where I'm coming from. Maybe I should. What do you guys think? Should we get more spicy with it? If we should get more spicy with it, put spicy in the comments, guys. If we should get more spicy with it. If we should get more spicy with it on our channel. We're all about respecting people. We do not fear people. We only fear God. We don't fear people. You know what I'm saying? We can get spicy with it. We're about respect. Because what you do to others, the way you treat others, it's about the way you'd want to get treated. So you got to get ready for someone to be back in a bit. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Always take care of your priorities, man. We're about to get on out of here, too. I just wanted to make sure to get my point across. I know it's that time of day where everybody's getting ready for work right now. Okay? So not everybody's going to be able to see this one right now. But I'm glad I did this one. Because it's going to be a lead up to content creators I'm subscribed to. That I am almost positive may have a little access to something over something involving you, us, me, I. We can even go as far as say EYE if we don't want to get too narked with it. And this is things that, yeah, we're gonna have to get on out of here now because they just shut the lights off, so we got to get on out of here. But we do got the sunrise popping up, you know what I'm saying? But these are things that's gonna cause reactive abuse, man. So we're gonna end it there, but let me just kind of end on a note right here. Let me just kind of end on a note that's a little personal and a little message from me to you. You who's watching this, who may be anonymous, you may not be one of the individuals who left a comment, that's fine. I truly believe a lot of them are real, and more so the content creators who watch other content creators are less likely to, actually be on their personal channel and to leave a comment, and I totally understand that. It's about, it's about your business at the end of the day, and we know how certain things make things look whatever way you look at it. But that causes reactive abuse, man. And reactive abuse, gaslighting, that's something that's really huge right now that's being used. And depending on the depths of it, it's pretty evil, bro. On why someone is gaslighting someone for a reactive abuse, so they could use it on them, use it against them, use it for their benefit, and take advantage of someone who was previously in a vulnerable situation, and they were actually able to do nothing about it during that time because they had a bigger priority to take care of during that moment. So what does that mean? They had to pick and choose their battles during that time. They weren't willing to give that person the time of day at the moment because they weren't the priority, even though that person was actually heavily affecting the priority. The thing is that we could miss angles where individuals could cloak themselves for what we said before, reasons to protect themselves. But you can never forget the original motive, the original reason for doing that. What if you didn't handle it well? What would have happened if you didn't handle it well? Where would you be right now? So yeah, that's kind of what we'll be getting into next, man, is, I want more information, and I'm more so going to be coming from a side of kind of asking for the viewer's point of view, because you're a viewer, and we're all about impact. You know what I'm saying? This is just the way I'm coming from with it. The more accumulation affecting them more than you, and to make you snap, to use it against you. This is where we get into concepts like just gotta be careful out here, man. You never know what people got. Try to be, for some reason, I wouldn't know. Try to dig up things on people from a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. No. I'm a way more fair person than that. I'm a way more fair person than that. Even if someone did put you in a position like that, very rarely am I going to go back to a scenario where it's like 4 years ago. Well, you did this. Hey, you should have squashed that already, man. You bringing back old news. You know what I'm saying? You bringing back that's fake old news. You bringing back old news. You must be in your feelings, okay? You know what I'm saying? That when you be bringing back old news on someone, you know, from years ago, you know what I'm saying? Y'all arguing about what happened right now. You're in the right, because we're in the present. You talking about the present, man. We're talking about the present right now. We're talking about what's about to happen. We ain't talking about the past. You know what I'm saying? You need to get out the past, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to use the past as a rebuttal, man, you gaslight. You're trying to get a reactive abuse and all that. But yeah, we'll get into the neural monitoring and surveillance and all that. This flock cameras and data centers. This is the way we're going to go with things. We will be taking an approach to dissecting scientific methods that were validated in previous times that may still be getting used now to validate current situations that may not be 100% agreeable, especially when it comes to violations and rights, boundaries, and reactions for a benefit that's only going to be in them using your energy, and you don't get a benefit. Ain't that something? Hugh Janus says, did you get your backpack? Oh, wow, man. I appreciate you for actually caring about that. Man, I did not get my backpack, man. And you know what I'm saying? I got something to talk about that later. I don't even want to get amped up right now. Because, you know, I'm going to have to find a way to even get myself going today. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to sell some of my belongings so I can just, you know, get some help with just getting something to eat, for Christ's sake. And couldn't sell it without my ID. You know, these people who be going out of their way to mess with others and making it a priority and everything, they're really making life hard for us, man. They're really making life hard for us. I didn't even have time to sit and moan. I didn't have time to sit and be like, oh, what am I going to do, God? I just looked that person straight in the face and said, gotcha. So I can't sell my thing here. Very nice pair of binoculars. I bought them for a good amount at a pawn store, and I was gonna get a good amount back. And you know what I'm saying? I was over here like, yes, you know, maybe we can grab ourselves a little Caesar's pizza tonight, just to get disappointed and to find out that the sale was not able to happen because I did not have my ID due to this clown who I actually saw after I woke up driving a brand new blue Sonata or whatever. It seemed like so much for laying on the ground and acting like you had your shit stolen. I guarantee you, homie, you probably had everything in the car. But let me not speak on things I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the way you may be forced to view life. I look at the positives in my life less as a forcible starting point than the negatives. I look at the negatives as forced. And that negative thing that forced you to take initiative is what led to the positivity in the end. So you were forced to be more disciplined. You were forced to look at things in a more broader perspective. You were forced to take accountability for your life. Despite what others have done for you, you were forced. Okay? So summary. Instead It's about peace. And just make sure to find your own time. Meditate, pray on your own. For real. Peace. Find time to pray, meditate, get on your own. Especially when it comes down to things like reactive abuse, harnessing, all the stuff that people be doing. Even on the internet. The subliminals that make you believe, don't do that right now. Hold on a sec, you're jumping the gun too much. You doing this right now, and this is a flaw. This is the con that comes to who is it that said the flex, Steven? That's the con that comes with flexing who you are as an individual. Me personally, as a collection, sometimes it goes against me. Now, even those who oppose you, and there's going to be an upcoming scenario with the verses, with the one's right, one's wrong, with a case, win or lose, settlement. You know what I'm saying? I had another point, I just missed it. You know, but that's the con. Because we can make titles like this, and this is why sometimes I hesitate to do things like this. That is coming from the starting point of what others are doing. My starting point, what others have done to you. To me, that's more of a validation of experience. To me, that's more applicable for something to be spoken about. To me, that validates and actually makes this title of the live I just made more justified than these individuals who are actually beefing over a news content subject matter regarding another individual who can't even defend himself. Knowing damn well, because it's so funny to me. This is why I feel more comfortable, or why it's just because I don't pre-plan things, especially when it comes to comments on other individuals. It's rare when I do comment, especially on a content creator. Well, duh, you only comment on a content creator channel. But if I do, I respect that person. Now, there may be other individuals that you keep up with more just based upon like subject matters or things like that. But the reason you were more willing to comment on that other individual is because it may be material like mine. News titles and what's going on in the world, it's going to get more exposure, and rightfully so, than private information, things that were done to you. But if you know how to put up with it well, and you know how to, you know what I'm saying, make yourself an example on how to get out of situations, especially in real time that you're going through right now, that's respectable. You know? So, that's a summary, man. You know, we're going to be getting into things right now, man. I got a lot to do. I just got up. You know, we're going to have to get to where we're going right now, and then hopefully I can make it to a good spot, most probably the library, you know, where we can gather up more information for things we got going. We got lists, we got things to do, and I'm going to guarantee y'all 80% of it has nothing to do with YouTube. So there's some downtime right here. This is honestly just a little downtime. I just wanted to touch base with you guys. And for those who catch this live lately, for those who are catching it right now, feel free to leave your angle on this. You know, leave your perspective on what you think about this, with the way I came from it. You're in the biblical field, but you're making your priority another dude that's talking about another dude. It's interesting. Not judging though, but it's interesting. Christian says hamsters are so cool. Hamsters are freaking awesome, man. Back when I was younger, we had hamsters, and their names was Hammy and Tweety. Those were our hamsters' names. You know what I'm saying? You can't argue. Okay, stop it. All right, stop it. Let me hurry get out of here before I get stupid. You know what I'm saying? But you can't argue. Those are some clutch hamster names. All right, Hammy and Tweety. All right, so shout out to Hammy and Tweety. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna get some information on our things, man. We're gonna get things right. You know, yeah, we're coming. We're feeling. We knowing that we gotta rush. We're gonna have to rush things, you know. And that's kind of what's going on right now. So hopefully this didn't feel or seem a little too rushed. I believe it made sense. You know, but yeah, we're rich in daytime, and not gonna lie, low key, I'm nodding off a bit. Thanks for checking out the live, guys. And like I said before, it's up to you. Feel free to, you know, support the channel. You know, even if this is a like, that's awesome. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, and you know, make good choices. Try not to get upset over the choices others make about others that may not have nothing to do with you. Sometimes, a lot of times, we catch ourselves getting upset for others, which is rightfully so. But don't let it go too far to where it affects your finances and your life. That's something I wish I was told back in the day. That could play a role in the underlying reason to why I'm making this live right here. Okay, guys. So, unless you guys got anything else to say, you know, wasn't on here too long. And yeah, thanks for checking out the live, guys. And I'll speak to you later. I'll talk to you guys later.